Introduction. Rich and poor people commit suicide. It is not about money, it is about making a decision. People with unpleasant experiences commit suicide and others do not. It is not a matter of having bad experiences, it is a matter of making a decision. Depressed and happy people commit suicide. It's a matter of making a decision. Hello, my name is Boris. It is a pleasure to meet you, and it is an honor for me that you have decided to read my book. They told me that you are thinking of committing suicide as soon as possible. Maybe you've already tried it, or maybe it's your first time trying. Either way, I want you to know that I am not here to judge you, and I am not here to tell you not to. In fact, you have all the freedom and the right to decide what to do with yourself, and no one can take that right away from you. I wrote this book not to make you desist from suicide, but so you can make an informed and conscious choice about the future decisions that you will make about yourself, and also to make you aware of the opportunities and options that you could offer yourself. First of all, I want to clarify that regardless of what society says, the fact that you want to commit suicide does not make you mentally ill. You are only making a decision like any other person would make a decision in this world. Do not let society, your family, or your friends tell you that what you are about to do is wrong, and that you are mentally ill, because that is further from the truth. Both, you who decide to kill yourself tomorrow, and he who decide to take their life little by little, smoking, using drugs, drinking alcoholic beverages, or drinking soft drinks, have the same rights and are committing the same action, suicide. The difference is that they prefer to wait longer to achieve their goal, but you don't. The problem is that those people prefer to call it fun not to use suicide, and society accepts it. Let's read the definition of the Royal Spanish Academy. Suicide, action or conduct that harms or may seriously harm the person who performs it. Now let's read the definition that Google shows. Suicide, action that is so risky that it can cause serious damage to those who practice it. So based on those definitions, let's think for a moment and ask ourselves. Who is committing suicide? Police. Military. Electricians. Professional boxers. Alcoholics. Smokers. Drug addicts. Extreme athletes. And so on. Now, I invite you to read the definitions again and see if you agree with me. If so, why doesn't society see them as suicidal people? They all know that sooner or later we'll end up in the hospital or the cemetery, and you know that too. I would dare to say that the only difference, as I mentioned earlier, is just a matter of time. Now, I have my own dictionary with my own definitions. So, if you ask me, hey Boris, what does suicide mean to you? My answer will be: suicide is inevitable. I will talk about this in more depth later in another chapter. But to give it a definition more in line with our society, it would be: suicide, the ignorance of living thinking about what will others say about me, instead of living doing what makes us feel happy. In this context, you must always remember the following phrase by José Martí. He who has a right does not obtain the right to violate another's to maintain his own. What do I mean? Seek to do what makes you happy, without taking away the right of others to be happy. Rediscovering yourself. Let's get to know each other better. Did you know that you and I share many similarities? I bet you have a heart just like me, right? I also know that you have 2 eyes, 2 ears, a mouth, and a nose. You may be missing one of them, but I bet you do have a heart. But what makes us different? The only difference is how we feel right now. How our emotions and thoughts are making us behave. Today I'm going to give you excellent news: we can control those 2 things. Doesn't it seem extraordinary to you to know that you can control various parts of your body? Knowing that you can control a part of you which, in some way or another, life and the universe magically put inside your body. You have the power to control what your brain thinks and thus influence your emotions and decisions in your life. Let me ask you something. Where do you live? Do not tell me. I know where you live. You have your own house since you were born. Do you not remember? You should realize and be aware of that wonderful place in which you are living in, and the only place that you will live until you die, your body. Chapter 1. Rediscovering Yourself. Rediscovering yourself means that you need to forget everything you think you already know about yourself and begin to know yourself again from the most basic, our body. Many times we ask ourselves questions that do not fulfill us spiritually or emotionally, or questions in which the answers vary depending on various changing factors in our lives. For example, who am I? It depends. Today you may be a cashier, a cook, a taxi driver, but maybe in a few years, you will be a lawyer, an engineer, or an entrepreneur who owns its own company. As of today, you may be an excellent son, friend, father, brother, grandfather, but maybe tomorrow you will feel like you don't want to be that way anymore. Your name may be Mary today, but tomorrow you may decide to change it to Alexandra because you simply don't like your name anymore. Other similar questions are: what did I come to this world for? What is my life purpose? It depends on your mood, your current abilities, and current opportunities. You may wake up today wanting to be a singer, but maybe tomorrow you will wake up with the idea that you would like to be a football player, an architect, or the president of your country. Those are questions on which you are always going to alter the answer, but before looking for an answer to those questions, I invite you and only you to answer a couple of questions on which answers will never change. Have you ever wondered, what am I? What am I made of? I do ask myself that question frequently to remind myself of how wonderful I am. Regardless of my feelings or emotions, and no matter how many times I ask myself that question, I always come to the same conclusion: I am wonderful, I am incredible, I have everything. What am I? It is not the same as who am I? Please do not go to the next page without responding from your common sense to the following question: what am I? I'm going to tell you what my answer is when I ask myself that question. Something you have to know is that every time I ask myself this question, unconsciously, I tend to look at my body, and when I am in front of a mirror, the intensity of my emotions is much more. I am skin. Skin that incredibly stretched out as I grew up and continues to stretch as time goes by. I am a bones machine. Bones that amazingly increase their size and strength as I grow up. Bones strong enough to keep me standing for a long time. Bones much stronger than steel and concrete. Bones perfectly aligned in my body to be the perfect being that I am right now. I am a set of organs designed and perfectly distributed within this layer of skin to be able to exercise extraordinary physical and mental functions. I'm a heart. Wow. It's amazing. I'm a single heart beating nonstop even before I was born. Even before I came out of my beautiful mother's belly. A heart that does not need artificial batteries or to charge it like a cell phone to work. A heart strategically located within a protective shield of our bones. A heart strategically connected with all our internal systems to give energy and life to this body that we often despise. And the most extraordinary thing, I am a heart that does not sleep even when I am asleep. I am 2 lungs. 2 lungs that breathe this fresh air. 2 lungs that make me sigh the smell of life and nature of this planet. 2 lungs that do not sleep even when I am asleep. 2 lungs that, together with the nose sensors and the connection to the brain, manage to save memories of smells to bring them back in the future and allow us to remember. 2 lungs that, in connection with my mouth, my tongue, and my brain, allow me to speak, sing, and scream. 2 lungs strategically designed to oxygenate the blood that runs through our body and keep us fresh and alive. Anyways, in order not to lengthen this chapter and let your own thoughts and your creativity flow, I am going to stop here and let you continue answering that magical question yourself. What am I? Notice something very surprising. We are more than the sum of our parts. What do I mean by that? Let's do a simple exercise. I challenge you to go by a heart, 2 lungs, 1 skin, 2 eyes until you manage to find and put all the parts of the human body together, and try to create a human and give it life. You won't be able to do it. You have something special inside of you that is happy to be living in your body, and I know it because that something has chosen you to be its home. Chapter 2. Our emotions, depression, and anxiety. You have to understand something very important. Emotions are here with us for a reason. That reason has to be a good thing. I do not doubt that feeling emotions are a good thing. I consider all emotions to be good: fear, anxiety, depression, sadness, passion, joy, anguish. They are all good in my opinion. I'm going to put it into perspective for you. Imagine a world without emotions. A world where sadness, happiness, fear, anxiety, courage, passion, depression does not exist. I want you to close your eyes and visualize a world full of people who feel no emotion. Imagine a mother who feels no emotion when she sees her daughter taking the first steps, or saying her first words, "Mom." Imagine soccer fans not yelling goal when their team manages to score one. Imagine a baby who is hungry but doesn't cry or scream for attention. Imagine an electrician who is not afraid and goes to work without any protection. Imagine an artist, be it novel writer, pianist, or movie scriptwriter, who won't feel depression, sadness, passion, love, and joy to create a great work of art. Imagine Thomas Alva Edison during the process of his inventions, and tell me if you think that he never had stress, depression, anxiety, rage, anger, and of course happiness. If depression had killed Mr. Thomas, we would not be enjoying many of his inventions. Mr. Thomas used depression to his advantage as fuel to keep dying to achieve his goals. He even once said, "I haven't failed 10,000 times. I have found 10,000 ways that won't work." I invite you to read the biography of Thomas Alva Edison. A child who learned to speak at age 4, and was not accepted at school, and therefore, his mother had to be his teacher at home. Returning to our main topic, emotions, I invite you to feel all your emotions. Don't hold back what you feel. Cry, talk, scream, get angry, get depressed, love, be passionate, be scared, and express everything you feel, because all those emotions are signs that we are alive, that we are here present, and that we can use all those emotions as fuel to continue fighting to die for our dreams. I will say again what has already been said before because I think it is very important. Use your emotions as fuel to keep moving forward. I believe that an emotion can be considered negative when we do not use it on the right occasion, at the right time, and do nothing about it. For example, when an animal wants to attack you, you feel fear, anxiety, and panic, which makes your body and mind react in a defensive way to avoid or counteract danger. On the other hand, in that same scenario, let's say that you felt love, happiness, and tranquility. The animal would attack you and cause a lot of pain or perhaps death because you did nothing to defend yourself. When buying a house, most people feel many emotions such as happiness, love, anxiety, conquest, fear of missing an opportunity, peace, and more, which, if not controlled or applied correctly, could not allow them to think objectively, and instead of buying the house of their dreams, they will end up buying the house of their nightmares because they do not know how to handle their emotions correctly.